You're at the end of a long and grueling Pokemon battle. Your Charizard is down to 1 HP, and the enemy is still at full. And you know that none of your attacks are strong enough to take it out in one hit. There's nothing you can do. The battle is lost. That is, until your Charizard locks in and lands a critical hit, smoking that turtle and clearing the way for you to go cut a WWE promo on him. Hits him 316, says I just whipped. There is perhaps no bigger leave your chair, fist pump in the air while flipping your computer the bird euphoric moment than a critical hit. A swing of luck in your favor to turn a certain defeat into an epic come-from-behind victory. It's the very reason pretty much every single game on the planet contains some element of luck or random chance. Without it, they would become stale, predictable, and boring. Of course, it does come with a trade-off. Lady Luck is a fickle mistress after all, and the only reason you even got that low in the battle to begin with was because your Arbok missed 3 Toxics in a row, even though it's supposed to be 90% accurate. This is why nobody likes you. But I think, at the end of the day, that's a trade-off that most people are willing to make. After all, the moments of victory wouldn't feel nearly as sweet without the bitterness of defeat. It sucks when an attack misses, but it feels even better when it hits. It keeps the games fresh and exciting. It keeps you from making plans to just win every battle before it even starts. After all, as the co-creator of the Civilization franchise, Soren Johnson, once said, when given the opportunity, players will optimize the fun out of a game. We need luck, both its ups and its downs. I think everyone would agree that games just wouldn't be the same without a dash of the unknown. Everyone except me. Over the past year, I happened to play 3 games that completely reshaped my opinion on luck. It made me realize that I think I kind of hate it. And look, I'm pretty sure that I'm wrong about this. In all my research, it seems like gamers and developers universally agree that luck is good. So, I did what I did best. Dove deep into the research, psychology, and statistics, and discovered that the answer to this question is a bit more complicated than it seems. And that your real opinion on luck might be a little bit different than what you think. So, here's what I want you to do. Right now, leave a comment down below letting us know how you feel about luck in games. Then, after watching the video, come back and see if your opinion has changed. Because today, we're learning about the specific aspects of your personality that influence the sorts of randomness you enjoy, how luck can be implemented with purpose, and if you stick around to the very end, you might find yourself sorted into one of 4 luck types, with a new list of games perfectly suited to your needs. This is the psychology of luck. Richard, hit that intro. The first thing I wanted to know was if my distaste for luck was really that irregular, or if I was just the only one brave enough to speak the truth that we've all been thinking. So, I put together a simple survey for all of you to fill out. First, I asked you to rate your feelings on luck in general on a scale from 1 to 5, ranging from annoying to exciting. Then, I asked you to rate how satisfying you find random events that benefit you. Things like critical hits, dodging an attack, basically any instance of good luck. Next was the opposite. How frustrated are you by moments of bad luck? And finally, I asked you to select some things that you value in games, the different genres or gameplay styles that you tend to gravitate towards. And what I found was pretty interesting. First of all, yes, turns out I am weird. Most people, it seems, enjoy some good old randomness, or are at least neutral on it. They tend to find instances of good luck to be very exciting, and while they do find bad luck to be frustrating, it's not as extreme. Most people seem to agree that you gotta take the good with the bad. And this was completely irrespective of genre and preference. Across the board, gamers seem pretty agreed on the role luck should play. Of the over 500 responses that I got, a grand total of 8 agreed with me. The real ones. Now, of course, there's a whole lot more to this story than a simple survey of my own audience can tell us. In fact, as I would soon learn, these may not have been the best questions to even ask. Especially this first one. At the end of the survey, I asked you to give me some examples of games that you felt implement luck well, and ones that don't. And I was super glad to see that one of the most frequently suggested games on the good side was the very one that sent me down this whole luck rabbit hole to begin with. The roguelike deck builder, Slay the Spire. I'm not really sure how this game even got onto my radar. I think I probably just saw it on sale one day while looking for a fun way to kill an afternoon. And I was like, I mean, hey, I like card games well enough. I should be able to get a few hours of fun out of this. Oh. Straight up, I'm addicted to this game. It is so freaking fun. Each turn, you draw some cards, and you play a few to deal damage, defend yourself, or do some other fun effect depending on what class you chose. When you win a battle, you choose a card to add to your deck, and you move on to the next one. It's super fun to try and build different decks and find cards and relics that synergize with each other, but the main thing that drew me back to this game again and again and again is the fact that there is no luck. You gotta understand, I was a child of Pokemon. I was born in the focus miss and the getting paralyzed 4 turns in a row. You merely adopted it. I didn't know that there was another way until I played Slay the Spire. In this game, no attack can ever miss on either side. There are no critical hits, and the enemy tells you exactly what they're going to do before they do it. In that way, it plays more like a puzzle game than anything. They give you all the pieces, your job is to figure out how to put it all together. And I tell ya, no critical hit will ever be as satisfying as spending 5 minutes crafting the perfect turn, using your limited energy to block just the right amount of damage while smacking that weird floaty thing right in the mouth that it doesn't have. Watcher 316 says, yes, it's predictable, but that's what makes it work. It's a pure test of strategy and problem solving, where optimizing is the fun of the game. So, how did they do it? Were all those other developers wrong? Is luck actually bad? Well, no. As a bunch of people who paused the video to leave an angry comment have already said, there is some randomness in Slay the Spire. You don't know what enemy you'll face next. You don't know what cards or relics the game will offer you. But heck, it's a roguelike. Randomness is literally baked into the definition. But I think the reason why I gravitate towards this style of luck so much has to do with when the randomness occurs. And I'll be honest, I thought it was like some sort of psychology genius when I figured this out, but it turns out game developers have been exploiting this very principle for years now. In games, there are actually 2 types of randomness. Input randomness occurs before the player makes a decision. In Slay the Spire, the enemy chooses a random attack, tells you about it, and then you decide how you'll react to it. Output randomness then occurs after the decision has been made. In Pokemon, you choose an attack, then the game decides if it'll hit or not. There's a great video on this topic by Game Maker's Toolkit if you want to see what the original version of this episode was going to look like, before I realized that they already did it, but way better, like 6 years ago. So perhaps the first question on my survey wasn't the best. It's not as simple as liking luck or not, but what kind of luck you prefer. Obviously, I really like input randomness because it feels like it gives me agency and incentive to actually put in effort, while output randomness removes that agency. But that's not to say that output randomness is objectively bad. Pokemon appeared in the top 3 games that implement luck well, and ones that implement it poorly. Some people have more fun reacting to an ever-changing, unpredictable situation than they do trying to plot everything out ahead of time. The second question, though, seems like a slam dunk. I mean, who doesn't love a good critical hit? According to the data, not many of you. Except again, I find myself in the minority here. And you're probably thinking, what? What do you mean you don't like critical hits? What are you, some sort of joyless nerd? And to that I say, chill, alright? I'm getting to it. This realization was thanks to another game that I played late last year. You probably know Expedition 33 as that little indie game that won pretty much every single thing it could at the Game Awards. And look, when I saw it, I was like a lot of you, alright, we get it, it's a good game, just shut up about it already. Gosh, I guess that I'll go and play it, just so I can see how much everyone is overreacting about this, and okay, yeah, so it's pretty fun. Normally, turn-based RPGs and luck go hand in hand, dating all the way back to their very inception as tabletop games that use dice to simulate accuracy. In a game like Pokemon, most moves have a small chance to miss. Or apparently not that small, are you serious? If you miss, you deal 0 damage, your turn is wasted, and you have to go dig your controller out of the wall. Of course, there's also a chance that your opponent could miss, saving you from a surefire defeat. Either way, luck is a staple of the very genre. As one comment on the survey put it, if you don't like luck, you probably don't like RPGs. Except, of course, Expedition 33 doesn't have accuracy. With a few clear exceptions that can easily be worked around, every attack you make will hit its target, and every attack your opponent makes will hit you. That is, of course, unless you lock in. Expedition 33 doesn't just eliminate accuracy altogether, it replaces it with a parry and dodge system. If you time your button presses right, you can negate the damage, and maybe even get some extra energy back to make your next move even stronger. It's not pure randomness beyond your control, it's a test of skill. I love this system because it makes me feel like an active participant in the battle, not someone vainly struggling against the apathetic whims of a random number generator. Though, of course, it isn't for everyone. Some people don't like the more action-centric dodge and parry in their strategy games, and it turns out there's a pretty simple reason why. It all has to do with your motivation type. Well, I actually discussed this before in a video about difficulty in games, which, hey, you should probably go give that one a watch after you watch this one. I bet you'll like it. But in short, intrinsically motivated people are motivated by internal factors, the desire to improve and get better, while extrinsically motivated people are more interested in external rewards and validation. And according to one psychology study conducted at the University of Pisa, your own personal motivation type can impact the degree to which you enjoy chance-based games. According to their findings, intrinsically motivated people, like me, are less likely to find satisfaction in winning a game based on random chance. If I land a rare critical hit or roll a nat 20 to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, Sure, I won, but I didn't really do anything. It doesn't hit for me the same way because it doesn't feel earned. But give me a chance to parry a mine 50 times in a row and win a battle that the game told me I should probably come back to later, and I'm gonna be out there telling that mime exactly what Gustav 316 says. For extrinsically motivated people though, the simple act of victory can bring them that satisfaction. These people tend to prefer games of chance because, well, they're a lot easier. They're going to feel just as happy winning from a critical hit as they are from becoming a parrying god. And one of them requires a lot less effort. And again, that's not to say that one is better than the other or that extrinsically motivated people don't like to try or put in effort. It's just two different ways of thinking. People who dislike luck tend to have a reputation for being optimizers. But when you think about it, these extrinsically motivated people are doing the same subconscious optimizations. A game with chance is probably going to provide them with the validation of victory far sooner and more often than a game that they need to take a lot of time to learn or improve at. Or at least they think that it will. Turns out, according to dozens of studies, humans are pretty trash when it comes to understanding statistics. Anyone who's played Pokemon will know that the 70% accurate Focus Blast has a reputation for missing all the time. So much so that people genuinely believe that Pokemon percentages are different from real world percentages. Because I mean, 70%, that's almost 3/4. That's almost every time. So why does it miss so much? And to be clear, these are real percentages. Focus Blasts will, on average, land 7 out of 10 times. It will hit more often than not. But it'll also miss 3 times more often than a 90% accurate move. Though, in their defense, Pokemon players aren't completely off base to be suspicious. Because a lot of games do lie about these sorts of things, though usually to the player's benefit. Fire Emblem Three Houses uses a weird averaging system when calculating accuracy, which makes an attack with a listed accuracy of 70 hit around 82% of the time. And though I don't have any evidence for it, I'm pretty sure that Dispatch does the same thing. I almost never had a 100% chance to succeed on a job, yet I found myself rarely ever failing due to random chance. I'd love to hear if anyone has any data on this. All I know is that it feels very fair, which probably means that it's not. Of course, there may be another reason why missing an attack makes you question the very foundations of math. According to the responses on the survey, you all tend to be more excited about good luck than you are frustrated about bad luck. According to the psychology, you're all straight lying to yourselves. In a 1991 paper titled Loss Aversion in Riskless and Risky Choices, researchers found that people tend to feel losses 2 to 2.5 times stronger than they do wins. You don't really notice when your Focus Blast hits. That's what it's supposed to do. But you remember when it misses. We all like to think that we can take bad luck gracefully. We believe that when we get crit to death or miss 9 times in a row, we can sit there and calmly say, "This is just the way of things. We must be prepared for uncertainty and adapt. Failure is what makes us stronger." But look, it's fine. You don't have to lie. It does suck to get unlucky. It's frustrating, especially when there's nothing you can do about it. It's true, failure can make you stronger. It can be an opportunity to learn and improve. Except you can't improve in a game of chance. If you're playing roulette and it landed on red 3 times in a row, you might think you're wise by picking black. After all, what are the odds that it comes up red 4 times in a row? Well, the exact same as it coming up red 3 times in a row followed by a black. But what if you could get better? There's one more game I played last year that changed the way I think about luck, and is maybe my favorite game ever? It's so fun, guys. It's so fun. If you've seen some of my recent videos, you probably know what it is. It's Blueprints. I hesitate to say, honestly, anything about it, because it's best experienced completely blind, and ideally with at least one friend playing through it at the same time that you can swap secrets with, like you're talking about Zelda on the playground in 86. But in essence, it's a roguelike puzzle game where you explore a grid of 45 rooms, trying to find a way into the elusive room 46. Each time you open a door, you choose one of 3 rooms to draft next, trying to balance getting good items with a variety of open doors and paths so you don't box yourself in. On the surface, mixing randomness with puzzles seems like a bad idea. You might know the answer and just have to restart over and over and over again until the game randomly gives you the rooms you need. But the game mitigates this in a few interesting ways. First, they realize that you can have luck without explicitly good luck and bad luck. In the beginning, you're going to have so many open ends and puzzles to solve that it doesn't really matter what rooms you get, you're probably going to end up learning something new. However, there will come a point in the game when some of those mysteries start to get closed off, and you find yourself searching for certain rooms in particular. For example, no spoilers, but there will come a time when you really want to get the boiler room. I will elaborate no further, just trust me. And here, the random elements of this game could get annoying, and any run without finding the boiler room will feel like a waste of time. Except, the developers at Doggo Bomb knew this, and included ways that players could define their own luck. The game will eventually give you some items and means to alter the rarity of certain rooms, allowing you to make the boiler room, for example, much more common. But perhaps more interestingly, the drafting system itself is constructed in such a way that your choices can influence your odds for certain rooms as you draft. For example, you might realize that rooms with 4 doors can't be drafted on the outsides because you can't have doors leading to nowhere, and rooms are removed from the pool once you take them. Head up the wings first to thin out your pool by drafting a bunch of rooms that you don't want, and you're more likely to get something that you do want when you go in the middle. A similar thing can happen in Slay the Spire. Sure, you could pack your deck full of powerful cards, taking every single thing you see, but sometimes a leaner deck, where you know certain cards will come up more often, is more reliable. Yes, there is still some luck involved, but it's controlled by your own choices and strategy, not some cold, random number generator. After all, as the other creator of Civilization, Sid Meier, said, a good game is a series of interesting decisions. So, yeah, turns out my little survey might not have been the most well thought out. It's not a matter of whether or not you like luck, but how that luck is implemented. The satisfaction you get from good luck isn't a simple matter of preference, it's baked into your very DNA. And while bad luck is probably more frustrating than people are willing to admit, it can be made a whole lot better with tools to try and control it. Based on all my research, it seems like one's preferences on luck are determined by 2 things. As we talked about with Expedition 33, your motivation type will determine the amount of luck you enjoy in your games. And as we learned from Slay the Spire, your preferred type of decision making will determine the type of luck in your games. If you like to make careful, deterministic plans, then you're probably going to enjoy a heavy amount of input randomness. Whereas if you're more reactionary, adapting plans on the fly to suit any situation, then you might like something with a bit more output randomness. Instead of plotting your opinion on luck on a simple good to bad axis, it's more of a spectrum, which means that we get to do the thing that unites psychologists, BuzzFeed readers, and YA authors the world over. Sort you into themed groups based on a single aspect of your personality. In the description down below, I've included a link to a new survey designed to evaluate your luck preferences and sort you into one of these 4 quadrants, with fun names to boot. Then you can once again suggest some games that have a version of luck that you personally enjoy. I'll turn all your responses into a list so that you could hopefully find some new games matching your own personal luck preferences. And I can find the next game to lose 150 hours to this year. Oh, and hey, since you made it all the way to the end of the video, why not click that subscribe button? I make new videos every single Friday, bringing math and science to your favorite video games. But of course, if you don't see me for a while, it probably means that I took a peek at the game that you all thought had the best implementation of luck and finally started playing Balatro. It's gonna be a problem. I just know it. And a massive thank you to all my supporters on Patreon, including Aspa102, Alakazam, Captain Kirby, Sherry and Mark, Sidian, Big Dog Ty for to win, The Boss Killer 94, Stylish, Ty Studio, Alex, and Richard Devotee III.